instruction. He's got to like remake his film, and he says, all right, I'm going to give you these rules in order to make this film. And the guy's like, okay, cool, what are the rules? He's like, where have you never been? He says, Cuba. He says, cool, we have to make the film in Cuba. And the guy's like, oh, all right. He starts walking away and he's like, oh, I'm not done. The guy's like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, you got to film a sex scene. It's got to like have this happen in it. It's got this thing. There's got to be a dragon. There's got to be, and no frame can be longer than 12 frames. What was it? Like 12 frames per second, right? So the whole first film, like, and you're like, fuck! This is amazing! Bananas. The 5 Obstructions, really great film. I recommend it for any artist. It's how to make things within boundaries, right? So play, I'm giving myself boundaries, I'm giving myself projects, and I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with these things, but I'm making them. And sometimes things go wrong. And so this thing kind of went wrong, and I thought it was really cool. But I totally fucked up my code, and I got these really weird things happening. And so sometimes failure produces these really beautiful accidents. This thing happened. I don't know what the fuck that is. But this thing happened, and I thought, oh, I wonder if this is using L systems. If you're a programmer, this is using Lindemeyer systems. It's a really great structure for making stuff. Really cool. And so this got generated, and I said, oh, I wonder if I could use that as a blueprint for a typeface. Right? So you can see the upper left-hand corner. I kind of used that thing and tried to figure out how many different ways could I make type within that structure. Right? And so it's all play. It's all play for me. And this leads me to this. Now, I just want to talk about this for a little second because this is fucking awesome. I love doing this. SoundCloud? Do you guys all use SoundCloud? Yeah? Okay. I fucking go on to SoundCloud and I like listen to music, and it's like good stuff. Like I listen to some really good stuff, and so I listen to it, and it ends up that I find this guy Bones. So I'm like listening to the thing. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I looked at his logo, and I was like, fuck, his logo sucks. So for about 2 days, I worked out a logo, and I started generating like all these patterns, and I just fucking emailed the guy and I said, hey, my name's Josh Davis. This is your new logo. If you happen to do a record, this is the art. Please don't use glue. Here's the colors that you could use. Please leave this space around the type. He's like a 16-year-old kid. He's like, okay, I won't use glue. But now, a couple of things I want to tell you. One, I gave myself a project, and what a really great project. Go onto SoundCloud, listen to the music, fucking come up with a brand campaign for that person, and then just send it to them. Because if you do that a lot, maybe one day the dude's gonna be famous. And he will fucking pay you! Just saying. Creative play, you know? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just making shit. And, you know, again, a lot of this stuff that I make, I put into print, you know? So I do a lot of print with this creative play. You know, there's no client here, it's just Josh making shit. And you can buy that, I'll sell it to you. I'll sell you my play. Now, I don't make a lot of money off this stuff. I actually make enough money just to buy paper and keep printing more posters. So don't think that that's a good way to make money, but it's a way to keep engaging in creative play and get it out to the world, right? Now, another thing that's really important with play is collaboration, embracing collaboration. And I love collaborating with kids. Kids are fucking magical. Here I was trying to teach watercolors, and my fish is the one on the bottom, the one that's like yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. And the kid is on the right, like, we'll do blue here, and then red, and then the water will be rainbow. It's just, kids will really help you get out of your shit fast. I really love collaborating with children. Really awesome, creative individuals. This is Sarah Blake. She's an illustrator that I really enjoy her work. And with collaboration, like I seek out people who are very different than me. Here she has done like all the sea life, and she hand draws everything, and then she scans it and colors it in Photoshop. Like, she's not a programmer, doesn't have anything to do with what I do. And I end up taking these things and trying to come up with these hybrids. So like, this is using sine wave oscillations, and I'm just sort of twisting and stretching these Bezier strings. And from that, you know, I come up with these really fun collaborations with people. And I love collaboration. And this is another guy that I really love collaborating with, Chuck Anderson. Chuck is amazing. You can see some of his artwork in the background. It's like really brilliant. And I said, dude, we should collaborate. And he's like, yeah, totally. And then he fucking like gives me this. And I'm like, holy shit. I have no, what do I do with this? It's like, it's a mess. And I take this and I try to like pull out these parts, and we ended up like making these like totems from his drawings. So this is just my programming and his artwork to try to see like, you know, what kind of things that we can come up with together. And interestingly enough, this is where I got the idea for the skull. Look at that thing on the bottom. Doesn't that look like a skull? You see the eyes, the mouth is open, it's got horns. And so again, it's being open to accidental inspiration. And that's where I totally got the idea to do these skulls. Now, I have to tell a story about Chuck, okay? So listen up, this is really fucking important. No shit, take notes. When I heard Chuck speak for the first time, he was 19. He was 19 years old. And he was giving a talk in front of like 1,000 people. And he was really fucking nervous. Really nervous. And it ends up that Chuck gets up on stage, and he's got like a slide up. And Chuck's talking. He's talking. Just talking away, talking away. And it seems like he's talking for a really long time. The guy's got an hour. He's talking, he's talking, he's talking. He's never left the first slide. Finally, this person comes down and says, Chuck, you have 5 minutes. He'd talk for 55 minutes straight. And he never left the first slide. He says, I got 5 minutes? There was that. I really like that. I really like that one. That was really cool. Feathers. That one was with feathers. That was a pen. And I did bags. I did bags. 5 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay. People drawing. Good idea. Good idea. Really good idea. And so, and boom! Like he was, and he was like, "Thank you!" And he walked off. And that's not what was amazing about Chuck. Chuck told the story. And I said, Chuck, you're 19 years old. I am 19 years old, yes. And I'm like, holy shit. And everybody knows who you are. Like, everybody knows who you are. You're a really great illustrator. And you're fucking 19. I'm 19. And I said, how did you do it? And he says, well, this is what I did. I went to the bookstore. And at the bookstore, they have magazines. Okay? And I just took all the magazines off the rack. Just grabbed them all. I had a fucking stack of magazines. And then I walked over to the coffee shop that's inside of the bookstore. And I put all the magazines down, and I had a notebook and a pen, and I opened up the magazine, and I wrote down the magazine, okay, ESPN magazine, and I looked to see who the creative director was. And I wrote down the creative director's name. And if it had an email, I wrote down the creative director's email. And I did that for about 300 magazines. And then I just put all the magazines back. Because you don't have to buy them. And I emailed all these people. And I said, hey! My name is Chuck! I really like your magazine. And this is what my work looks like, and I want to do artwork for your magazine. Send. Next email. ESPN magazine. Hey! My name is Chuck. I really like your magazine. I want to do artwork for your magazine. I really like it. We should do work. And I said, holy shit, so you did that with all these magazines? He said, yes. And I said, well, what if the email address wasn't there? He says, oh, that was easy. I would look at the magazine and it would say, Joshua Davis. So I would do joshua.davis@magazine.com. And then it would come back to me. And then I would do j.davis@magazine.com. And I'd click send. And then it would come back to me. And then I would type joshua@magazine.com and I'd send it. And then it wouldn't come back. And then I knew that that was the email. Now here's where it gets fucked up. I said, how many people emailed you back? He said 70%. I said, holy shit, I think I just peed a little. I said, how much of that turned into work? And he said, almost all of it. At one time I had 9... Let's try that again. Say that. Listen, Diablo 3 came out. I have not seen it. Fucking Diablo 3 comes out at 3 in the morning in New York. And if you, who's playing Diablo 3? Yeah. At 3 in the morning, join, no, join, no, join, no, join, no. 3:45, join, success. And then I played for 12 hours. Level 18 wizard. Then I shut my computer, got in a cab and flew here. I really want to get home. So almost all the people email him back. At one point in time, he had 9 pieces of graphic design in 9 different magazines in 1 month. What a fucking amazing, amazing tool. Play. Broadcasting to the world. Hi, I'm Chuck. This is what I do, right? And in a lot of senses, that's what I'm doing, right? I'm constantly broadcasting to the world the things that Josh likes, right? And I'm doing things like, oh, okay, figuring out how to color it, and I'm showing the world, I'm broadcasting to the world the types of things that I like making, in hopes that people will hire me to do that as work, right? So, of course, I got to give a shout out to Pete. He was my slave for today. Thanks, Pete. Again, just broadcasting to the world the types of shit that I like, right? And not only am I going to do this analog, I'm doing this digital. I'm making these things, and just like Chuck, I'm going, hey, my name is Josh, and I sort of like this shit that I'm making. And now here's the big secret. The type of work you make is the type of work you'll get hired to do, right? So that means you have to edit your portfolio. It means that if there's shitty work in your portfolio, and you know there is, take it out. Because what if some fucker hires you to do that? Right? Make the kind of work that you want to get hired to do. Now, when I do that, right, I'm broadcasting to the world, clients come. Like this fucking guy. So this is my new boss. A fucking mouse. So this is Joel Zimmerman. He's Deadmau5. And his stage show is fucking bananas. And so he called me about, I don't know, about 9 months ago, and we've been collaborating on his stage show and his posters, and I'm now doing animations across his head, and that's because I've broadcasted to the world, hi, I'm Josh, and this is the type of work that I like to make. And so I get to sit at home and play. And I sit at home and I play with all these ideas. Joel said he wanted to do something with gears, so I started drawing these gears and writing programs. And so for his European tour, his posters are going to look like this, which is the head split in half and the inside exposed with gears, right? And all of this comes, these clients come, because I'm broadcasting to the world the type of work that I make. But that type of work is play, right? Now, a few nerds, I'm using processing. I'm using processing with SVG, which means I'm drawing in Illustrator, I'm outputting Illustrator to SVG, and processing handles really well loading in SVG graphics and being able to generate them. So this is what I do, I make these like little tiny patterns, and this is all for deadmau5, this kind of new visual language that we're doing for him for 2012. We just finished a first product together. This comes out in June. He's going to have headphones, and my artwork will be on the headband. And again, all of this sparked from play. Play work, same fucking thing, right? Some of you may have seen this stuff. It's just some of the compositions that I'm constantly making and showing to Joel to see if any of this interests him. Right? So we have these really great Skype chats. He lives in Toronto, and right now he just got back his new LED head. He's got this head that you can see it there in the background. It's all LED lights. And so I'm programming these little things in processing that actually play across the surface of the head. So you can see there's a still of the head in the background, and up at the top is just a sample of some of the processing outputs that I'm outputting to his head. So again, this is all play turns into client work. Now, it just so happens that Joel also likes my personal artwork, right? So I'm always making this personal artwork, and when he had his penthouse redone, he actually picked up one of my pieces, and this is in his living room. So not only am I doing professional work for him, I'm also decorating his home, which is super, super cool, right? So I'm going to wrap it up. I was looking on the internet for a way to like reinforce this idea of work and play. And it ends up that I find this quote by Mark Twain that says, work and play are words used to describe the same thing under differing conditions. And fuck, if Mark Twain said it, I'm sold. I'm sold. Right? That's me on a tractor. Dude, you guys are awesome. Please come by and visit me. I don't bite hard. Just soft. It's like a love nibble. Come by and visit me. I'm so excited to see James Victoria next. He's a personal hero of mine. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks.